how's it going? So it's been a while since we've been putting out content. We kind of been trickling it out every couple weeks or so. But we're both in school, and we being myself and Andrea, you've probably seen this in the videos. If you haven't seen the videos, we're a duo, and we kind of help each other both, get the videos filmed and then upload the videos. But I'm at the point now where, me personally, I have a lot more time. So I'll be able to get through a lot of the content we've been recording. And I also decided when I get free time like this, I have a couple classes that I do, college classes. I'm a geology major. In the middle of the day, our channel as a whole, sometimes the questions may be directed towards Andrea or myself, but we get questions. And which I'm honored. I feel like I don't know a lot about anything, but I thought one thing that would be cool would be to read the questions. I've emailed some of the people back. I actually only have about 10 questions at this point, but people hit us up through our contact, which will be in the description of this video if you have any questions or you just want to say something nice. And they actually hit me with some pretty good questions, and it gets me thinking. And I feel like if I share it with the people that like to watch our videos, maybe it'll answer your questions and maybe it'll help me learn something too. So I actually, I'm going to open them up, and I figure it'd be good right now just to go through these questions. And if they continue to, trickle in or whatever, we may make a thing of this. I think this might be fun. So, first question. So Gabriel is from Grand Terrace, California. That's what it says in the contact, and he's cool with me just sharing that. And Grand Terrace is actually pretty close to where I'm at. It's for like an hour and a half, because where Treasure Trail is located in California. He said in the email, how did you pick your metal detector? I currently use a bounty hunter, but all I seem to find is trash. I don't have a ton of money to buy something fancy, and I stick mostly to the beach. Any advice? So this is an interesting one, because whenever we first got our metal detectors, I actually think the one Andrea was using was a bounty hunter, and my first one was a Fisher. When I was younger, my grandma had the Excalibur 2. If I'm butchering that, I think I have it in a closet somewhere. I inherited it, but my grandma had the Excalibur 2, and one thing I noticed about the difference of the detectors is, the older the detector is, the heavier it is, and that's no fun to swing around. But as far as good finds go, Andrea was able to produce some pretty cool coins or pretty cool relics using the bounty hunter. Now, when it comes to picking a detector, honestly, what I did is I went to Amazon and I started doing looking through the reviews or reading the product reviews or, watching the videos that people will upload where they, describe the product. And I ended up going with the Fisher F4, but for user-friendly metal detectors, it seemed like Fisher and Garrett kind of run that market on what's simple to use, stuff that doesn't have a lot of discrimination settings or ground balancing stuff. They just have very basic settings, so you can pull that thing out of the box and maybe read the manual for 30 seconds and figure it out. So I don't necessarily know if the bounty hunter, Gabriel, that you're using is the issue, especially with beach detecting, because one thing I noticed, if I go detecting at the beach, which you probably go to if we're hitting the same beaches, maybe Pacific Beach or something like that. I can't think, there's some state beaches that allow it, like Huntington Beach. We've been to Huntington Beach and with metal detecting on the state beach. But for the most part, if you're not around fire pits and stuff like that, the beach is pretty clean. And what it is these old timers that live in the area, they get up early after big events and they'll just completely go in there and wipe that place clean, pick up all the bottle caps and stuff. So if you feel like you're going to the beach and you're not finding stuff, it may be because there's nothing there. Maybe somebody who's more into it and dedicated to it goes there and pulls up all the gold chains or quarters or whatever you're trying to find. One thing that's very similar to beach metal detecting that I've had a lot of success with, and Andrew's had a lot of success with, is we go to parks. And you got to make sure that the city that you're in doesn't require a permit to go metal detecting in that park. But I'm not actually talking about digging in the grass section of the park. we would go to the playground portion, which for the most part is sand, and we'd go underneath the swings or go on the slides, and we'd have our metal detectors, and we would use like a scoop with that had like holes in it, kind of like a sifter. They sell them on Amazon if you're curious, and maybe I'll put a link for them in the description. I don't really know which exactly. I have a plastic one now that I think about it. It's like a scoop with a handle, a little plastic one. But we actually had a lot of success there and little success at the beach. So you said you don't have a lot of money. What I would do is, I don't know if you've buried coins, laid out coins, practice, buried different things, kind of see how it sounds. Test the depths of your or the depth of your detector to see, hey, maybe at 12 inches everything sounds good, but at 6 inches you're pretty solid. That's something I had to do through experience. So we did practice. We buried some stuff, and hey, how does this sound? But just getting out there and playing around with it is the best, probably the best way to get used to it. And once again, I would say the problem maybe is when you go to the beach. Beach detecting is so popular, especially if you're in California or you're in, Florida. These areas that get high tourism because people's looking, they're looking for that lost wedding ring or that gold bracelet that somebody lost or cell phones or whatever. So sometimes it's not so much the detector. It could just be the area that you're detecting in. So hopefully that answered your question, Gabriel. Right on. And if I didn't answer your question, who am I to give you advice anyway? So, okay, so the next question I actually have is from Wisconsin. They didn't want me to use their name. And what it is their name was in the email, and I emailed them back, and they didn't say it was okay to use their name. And then the questions that I have on this list right here, they all kind of go together. So hopefully this all blends together well. But the person's from Wisconsin, and they say, hey, TT, or Treasure Trail, I think it is really something special that you two get out there and hunt together. I am assuming you're in a relationship. Okay, so they're talking about me and Andrea. I have an 11 and a 9-year-old. Do you have any recommendations on how to get them outside? I think it would be good for them to get fresh air and be active, but I also want to hunt for treasure like you do. I think it would be a cool thing to bond over. Regardless, if you respond to this email, love your videos, keep them coming, and happy hunting. So I don't really know who got who started. I think what happened was for Christmas, I got some Amazon dollars, and I was watching shows like Gold Rush Alaska and Oak Island. And, at the time, I don't even think Gary Drayton was a character on that show, but there was a character like Gary Drayton, a metal detector guy, that they had in the swamp. And they were pulling out some cool old stuff, and I was thinking, how fun would it be to, buy a detector and, swing it around and find some history. At the time, I did do some detecting before when I was younger. My grandma would take me out treasure hunting, which I think consisted of her, like, burying coins and leaving nice stuff out for me, and then I would find it with her detector, and it got me really pumped. So, that's kind of how we got going, and honestly, that might be a good way to get your kids involved. It doesn't always have to be metal detecting, but if it's metal detecting, if that's how you're wanting to get outside, you could plant something. They'll go out there, they'll metal detect, and oh wow, hey, I found this really cool thing. Whether it be a silver quarter or something like that. Another thing, and I noticed that a lot of people who were into metal detecting or treasure hunting and stuff, we grew up with those treasure hunting movies. Like Indiana Jones is a little bit older than me, but they were still playing all the time on TV. You have the Goonies. So maybe, just showing them some of those archaeology, treasure hunting type TV shows / movies. We'll get them into it. And then also, I'm big into armchair treasure hunting. Andrea, not so much. She actually enjoys the metal detecting and the bottle digging, and she likes to get out there and get her hands dirty. But I really enjoy, like, the puzzle parts of, like, armchair treasure hunting. And this is a good book to show. So, like, right now, my cousin hooked it up with this book, which I actually have been reading a little bit, and I probably should do a review on this because some of the stuff this guy's saying, I just want to make sure it's 100%, and I'm not getting, because I'm sure there's so many different opinions about the Superstition Mountains. If you don't know, they're looking for a lost mine. I might talk about it in a different video if I get time. But I've always been into armchair treasure hunts, whether somebody publishes a book and they bury something and they want you to find it. The Great American Treasure Hunt is something that goes on right now. And a cool thing about the Great American Treasure Hunt is the authors actually want you to find the treasures that they hide out in public. And if you find these treasures, you get $10,000, and they want you to find them in a certain time limit. So they don't actually want the treasure hunt or whatever to go on for 10,000 years. Like Forrest Fenn, whenever he did the Thrill of the Chase, his treasure hunt, he was like, it could be 1,000 years before somebody finds it. So that's something nice about that kind of treasure hunt. But I'm also into like those old timey bank robber stories, where they buried gold in the mountains or whatever. So I'm into all of it. I'm knee deep into all of it. And, and I'm also big into The Secret. You've probably seen, if you haven't yet, check out my videos on The Secret. I talk about The Secret, and one of those actual casks or treasure that's associated with that book is buried in San Francisco. And that's not too bad of a drive for me, so it's super fun to talk with people in the community of The Secret, and then kind of go out there and look for this thing. So there's multiple ways to get them involved. I say, you can't force anybody. It's like, hey, I want my kid to play football or something, but my kid doesn't like football. They're more into running. You just got to kind of embrace that. I get that you want them to get out, but sometimes, you just got to give them a little push. And it may be fun if you got together a lump sum of money, you put it in a box, and then you made a little treasure map or a riddle, and if they figure it out, they get that money, and it may get them into that sort of thing. So maybe that'll work for you. In Wisconsin, I know there's lots of cool history out there, so you shouldn't have a problem going out there, getting permission, metal detecting even. So I don't know. Hopefully this was good advice. My journey into treasure hunting, I'm kind of weird. The girl Andrea's pretty weird, but we both enjoy it, and that's kind of why it works out. And I guess I'm lucky because, there's some people out there that love metal detecting, or their wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. They won't go out with them because they're like, oh, this is so dorky, or this is how can you just dig in dirt all day? You don't even find anything, yada yada yada. So it all depends. But anyway, hope that helped. Like I said, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but that's kind of my thoughts on it. And then I'll go, I don't know how long this has been recording. I don't want to go too long. It looks like it's been about 12 minutes. So I may break these up. Because I have like 10 questions here, and one is really, it's not really a question. It's somebody telling me about an active treasure hunt, a guy named Robert Apeldoorn from the Netherlands, and I think I'm going to make a whole video about that because he sent me some information and some photos that are just crazy. And so if you're into shipwrecks and stuff, make sure to keep an eye out for that video. I'm super excited to even read into that a little bit more, to verify what he's saying is true. But it's what he's telling me seems like pretty legitimate and like super cool story. So let's do one more question. Let's see. I'll pick a short one. Here we go. Yeah. Good afternoon. I am a new subscriber, and I'm a big fan of the mind stuff you do. I was curious if you make any money doing all the stuff you do. Regardless, it seems like you have a lot of fun. Thanks, Big Red, Sparks, Nevada. Okay, a Big Red. That's a cool name. So you like the mind stuff we do. Thank you. That's probably the dumbest thing we do, but it is fun for us, and I feel like we're somewhat safe about it, but I wouldn't recommend doing it if at all. Also, I am a geology student, and so it's kind of like I get to learn stuff, and so it's kind of cool to go into mines and try to find like these old quartz veins and stuff like that. I have an interest in it. So yeah. But as far as I was curious if you make any money doing all the stuff you do. Well, basically, for the gas and the batteries for the detectors, and so that'd be like travel costs, getting lunch and stuff like that. I would say almost every treasure hunting journey we go negative. But we do have times where we find some older coins. We may just find change, and we've taken change in before and gotten 70, $80. We've found an insulator. If you check out our Instagram, we have this insulator, a glass handmade insulator that we've had offers for it for 500, $600, because it's some collectible insulator, but we just think it really looks good on our shelf, so we haven't parted with it. I found some old beer cans, and I didn't even know these old beer cans were valuable, some of them, until a buddy of mine named Raver kind of schooled me up on it. He's like the beer can master in my world, and he's found sets and sold sets, and but we never got into this to find money per se or get rich. We enjoy like the adventure with treasure hunting. Sure, would I love to find a big gold bar? Yeah. But a lot of the times the places we go are like permissions and stuff like that, or we're asking somebody to metal detect their field, is what I'm saying. And if you do find something valuable, it could be a headache, dealing with the individual, and I wouldn't mind splitting somebody, or splitting whatever treasure with somebody, but it's kind of silly if you find something nice and then the person property you found it on there, oh no, it's 100% mine, which that's actually their right because it is their land. So Andrew and so Treasure Trail or whatever, we try not to go too hard in the paint on getting rich or whatever. We really enjoy the adventure, and also we're like huge fans of like cleaning up the area and leaving it better than we found it. If you look at our channel, some of our videos may seem off of like the treasure hunting journey or whatever, but that's because we like really care about like environmentalism, and I don't even know if I said that right, but we pick up the trash in the areas we go. We try to clean it up, make it better than it was, and so that's like one big part. So it's like rewarding, but as like a monetary reward, no. The short answer to everything I just said is no, Big Red. We have not struck it rich, and we probably do spend more money than we make, and actually a lot of time also. So like one thing, making the videos, recording the videos, that's something we started doing because we both had family members and stuff that were like, oh wow, just seems so cool. Maybe you should record it. We'd like to see it. And so that's kind of how our YouTube journey began. But we like really, really, really enjoy the treasure hunting portion of it. Whether it be finding abandoned buildings, whether it be, metal detecting in a yard all day just to pull up cans, because the way we look at it is, oh, at least we cleaned up the yard. So it's not, for some people, I guess the end game is like, yes, I want to find, a million gold coins. But that's just, that may be an unrealistic goal, but it's still a fun goal. And as long as that's not like 100% why you do it, I think that you won't get burnt out as much, if that makes sense. But we both enjoy it, and I like the armchair treasure hunting. And hey, maybe if we keep working at it, one day I'll win one of these armchair treasure hunting prize, or we'll find like some guys find old Civil War relics and they're valuable. That could be a cool thing that happens. But right now we have a lot of fun. It's actually good for both of us. We get the exercise from it. We get to help with the environment, to an extent. We get to find some history. Like I learned a lot of cool history about our house, just digging the hole in my backyard. And we've actually gotten other people we know into the hobby also. So, yeah. So I revert my answer. It is rewarding for those reasons, but as far as money goes, no, it's rewarding, but no, we don't make a lot of money doing it. That being said, if we were better at the beach detecting, or maybe if we were actually looking for more clad or normal coins and stuff like that, I'm sure you can make a pretty good turnaround. But it all depends. You got to have good spots and the right permissions and stuff. So hopefully, I actually wanted to get through way more questions, but I think I just like talking too much. So I hit 3 of these questions, and I got 10, and then a big story about the ship I was telling you about. But I actually have a couple other little collab things I'm doing with other people who are into metal detecting. And so since I've got the time off school, this is my first video responding to emails. So if you want to email me, I'll put the email in the description. I don't mind answering questions, or if you just have a comment or stuff. I think this is actually kind of fun. And then it actually gets me thinking about how I got started, and maybe how I can improve. I mean, you can even give us a criticism if you want. If it's too graphic, or like there's some profanity or something, I'm not going to read it, obviously, unless it's funny, unless it's like a little funny and not too inappropriate. But hopefully you enjoyed this. And then to the individual in Wisconsin, Gabriel and Big Red, thanks so much for even asking questions. It kind of, I feel almost honored. Like, who am I to ask questions? But I get it. You're looking to for the most part, it seems like you're looking to get into it, or you're at least interested in it, and that's where I'm at. And so I enjoy talking about it. And so thanks for the questions, because it allows me to do something I enjoy. If you have any more questions, shoot me an email in the description. And if you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give it a thumbs down. Maybe I'll try it a couple times after that, but if it's not getting a lot of love, this will be a short-lived thing. All right. Thanks for watching, and everybody, happy hunting.